Welcome to MagicGatheringStrat and Pauper Walkthroughs. I am Dan. This video requires that you have seen Pauper Walkthroughs 6 Blue-Black Trinket Control and Pauper Walkthroughs 7 1099 matches with Blue-Black Trinket Control. And I talked to Pauper T, the creator of the deck, and we have discussed sideboard changes due to the bannings. We never adjusted the deck to Temporal Fissure, and the reason was that the Temporal Fissure matchup was so unwinnable that diluting the sideboard or the main deck to handle Temporal Fissure would change a 1090 matchup to a 1585 and damage so many other matchups. So this is the deck, and it has remained the same for a long time now. But now it's time for a change. And the cards that become less useful now because they were essential in combating Epsiode Post, which was still a favorable matchup for Trinket if you knew how to play it, and the combo matchups are Distress and Duress. There are still combo matchups. We have to see what happens to Hexproof and Delver, but I don't expect them to go away. And one of the reasons we crush Hexproof and Delver is that we have the Duresses. So for the time being, the Duresses stays. They're also useful against control decks, and we have a lot of cards that are not useful against control decks, so we have to have something to bring in. But we no longer need the Distress, which was very much a way to get rid of Muldrifters for Epsiode Post. So we have a spot here in the sideboard. Some people have filled this spot with Doomblades. I think that's a serious mistake. I think filling the spot with Doomblades is making 70-30 matchups into 75-25 matchups, and that's not necessary because you have to work on the anti-control matchups, because there will be a lot of control decks and you will have to fight the Mirror and other blue-black control decks. Other blue-black control decks are easier to fight than the Trinket Mirror, but one card that's the key against control decks is this. So we are going to 2 deep analysis. One thing that I would not object to if the meta is control heavy is to take out another Duress and put in a deep analysis. But another card that is very useful against aggro and also useful against control in the main deck is Sign-in Blood. And I have sometimes experimented with taking out the Sign-in Blood and replacing it with deep analysis too. We don't want too much blue in the deck because this is a mono black control deck splashing blue. But I have replaced one Sign-in Blood with deep analysis too. I really want to fit in the last 2 deep analysis, but there is no space. So this will, and we had a long discussion, but this is the preparation for the new metagame, and I think Trinket is very well positioned for the new metagame. Duress can also be used to fight other mid-range decks like BorosKitty and SorusKitty to great effect. And I think Duress has to stay. The other cards in the sideboard do still have a lot of uses. Hitting Rats are key in many matchups, useless in others, but very useful in some matchups. Verdicts are necessary to they help against all aggro decks, but they're absolutely necessary to really dominate Hexproof. Another card I always wanted in the sideboard is the second Nihil Spellbomb, but even with 1 and 3 Trinket Mages, you totally dominated Tortured Existence decks. And I'm sure there will be Teachings decks, etc. that work with the graveyard. The cost of bringing in Nihil Spellbomb is so small that yeah, and Spinning Darkness have been working out great. I actually talked about replacing 1 Tragic Slip main deck or the Last Undying Evil or a Shitting Rat with Spinning Darkness main deck. But no, the discussion is still out on that one. And the last Sylvok Lifestaff, of course, is maybe the most 100% sure card you have to have in the sideboard. So these are the sideboard changes for Trinket. I'm bringing Trinket to the first daily ever after the new bannings, the one on Wednesday. See you there!